Now this was building from the frame inward. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do another version, which is going to be from the inside shape, the plate behind lounge, all the way out. So I'm going to select this piece right here and I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to go to this view. And again, with the quad draw, all we're going to do is we're going to build our shape. All right, we have a shape right here, the green part. Then we have this oval right here, which is like a comic book balloon. So again, let's go to our modeling toolkit. I'm going to select the quad draw. I'm going to hit Control Spacebar to get rid of as much as the UI elements as I can. So for this part right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with basic primary shapes. One big gigantic rectangle. And I'm going to create my 4 points, move my cursor in between those points, hold shift, and there it is. There's my gigantic shape. I can move these guys to right before the curve starts. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and start in this corner right here. Let me dim down the image plane so you can see it. Again, our image plane is locked, so I'm going to go right mouse button on the layer, select object, go to the attribute editor and lower my alpha gain really, really low, like so. And let me go back to our modeling toolkit. So again, I'm going to prepare these guys right here. And now what I'm going to do is, I know that I want to create a quad that goes from here to here, and then here to here, and then do the rounded pieces. So I'm going to hold Control and give myself an edge right here. And then hold Control, give myself an edge right here. Now I can put a point here and a point right here. And I have another polygon. Let me readjust this. Now let's work on our curvature. And we want to work with quads. So I know that if I click here and here, right, and I split this guy, let's say right here, I'll have a quad. And so I'm going to have to split this guy right here. Okay, so I'm going to create my curvature. I'm going to go in the middle. And then I'm not worried that these polygons right here are all smashed in together, because now, as soon as I'm done, it's just a matter of moving these guys. So when you build a shape like this, the name of the game is try to even the spaces on the outer part first, right? Something like this. And then work on the inner part and try to imitate that curve like so. Something like this. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I know that this is not going to work, because eventually we want to have a polygon that has 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth edge, but then I'm going to end up with an extra one. So to fix this, it's really easy. All I have to do is split one of my polygons right here and then rearrange the other ones like so. Or I could have got rid of one of them, but make sure that you end up with even numbers. So let's see if this is going to work. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll be able to create a polygon that goes from here to here, one that goes from here to here, and then I'll end up with a bunch of quads. So, and now if I hold shift, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I can move this edge right here. Right. And then it's just a matter of moving your polygons so you don't have a big gigantic triangle like so. Perfect. But we don't know if this is going to work or not until we hit smooth preview. So I'm going to hit 3 and I'm going to look at those blue edges. Right? The blue edges is a smooth preview. Fantastic. Now, these guys don't work because we have a gigantic polygon that goes from here to eternity. So if I go back to 1, I know how to fix that. I will support this edge right here, right? By holding Control and splitting these guys like so. 1 and 2. And then the same thing here. I'm going to put a support edge here and then split them in the middle. And again, I'm going to repeat that operation that I did here at the bottom. I know that I have to put in an edge loop right here. So Control, here's my edge loop. And then it's just a matter of going, okay, I'm going to need one that's going to go in the middle from here to here to here. And then split that in the middle again. Here. And here. And now I have this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and voila. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hit 3. Look at it in. Okay, so this face is open. I'm going to hit 1. And what I can do here, I can extract edge like so. And then by moving to those corners, notice that I can snap this. Whoops, no big deal. And then move this guy here, move this guy here, immediately hit 3 and start adjusting those blue edges like so. Don't worry about the inside ones, they're never going to move. And there you have it. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 quads, and I think on top I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically I could get rid of 2 and still get a really good shape. So to get rid of a face, the same thing as an edge is you hold Shift Control. So I'm going to get rid of these guys right here, right? And to connect these guys, it's really easy. I'm going to put these guys in the middle, and then I'm going to move it, and they are going to snap like so. Put this guy in the middle, put this guy in the middle of these two. Same thing with this guy here. Again, put this guy in the middle. Find for the averages, hit 3, and I know we're going to have a hole right here. So again, tab, bring in this edge, and then bring in this corner right here, and then hit 3, and there you have it. So it's just a matter of adjusting your smooth preview like so that it matches the drawing, right? We're not going to be worried about these guys right here. All we need to do is take care of these corners again. I'm going to hit 1, and this right here is going to be 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So we are going to go 1, 2, and then from here we're going to create another corner, and then this one we're going to have to make it up because we have the drawing on top of it. No big deal. So again, to hold the entire edge loop and move it as if we were doing an extend, what you have to do is hold tab and then middle mouse button, and then you're going to drag the entire edge loop. So I'm going to need 1 that goes all the way to the end. Then I'm going to split it by holding Control like so. And we can manually move these guys to try to make that corner, but I just rather do it by hand. So I got rid of that edge loop, no big deal. So Shift Control, delete those faces, and let's build those corners. So I know that I'm going to need a middle point. So this guy's going to go right here to right here, and then I'm going to need one that goes here to here and another one that goes from here to here. All right, so let's close our edge loops, and I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to do this one here, and then this one here. Hit 3, fix this smooth preview like so. Again, control the alpha gain of your image plane so you can see more of the drawing or less of the drawing. I'm really happy with that corner. This one, I'm not going to put too much importance. However, I'm going to do a good job just in case the client wants to blow up the open sign out. You never know. There it is. I'm going to hit 3. Do a better job with the curvature. And we're going to leave this guy the way it is. So we have created our inner piece right here, right, which was the opposite way of doing it as we did it before with doing the frame and then going the opposite direction. I'm going to hit Q, right mouse button, and anytime we create something, as you can see in your channels, you're going to have a lot of history. So what we want to do is delete the history. That's under Edit, Delete by Type History, and I have my icons right here. And notice that we have cleared up our history. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same reinforcement trick by either extending the border edge. So we have to go back to Modeling Toolkit, click Quad Draw, and I'm going to hold Tab. Notice that it only does one edge, so I'm going to hold Tab, right mouse button, Extend Border. So what I can do is I can extend this border ever so slightly, or another thing that I can do to create my fencing, instead of extending the border, I can create an edge loop on the inside by holding Control. So because we're happy with the shape of the inside, I'm going to now put the border support on the inside, hit 3, and notice that it works the same way. Okay, if I need to put more fencing, hold Control, put one halfway, like here, and then hit 3, and notice that our edges don't come out as far when we go to Smooth Preview. Alright, so I'm going to get out of Quad Draw, right mouse button, Object Mode, and if I go to Edges and double click on one of the border edges, it's going to select the entire edge loop, as you can see, all the way around. So now this is time to extrude. So it's the same thing as what we did with the frame, and we went inwards. This time we're going to do everything backwards. We're going to go to Extrude, right? Our extrusion is going to go to one of the edges. We just got to find it. We're going to put our gizmo, our pivot point, in the middle by clicking on this icon right here. And now all we have to do is push it out as far as the inner fencing edge that we created. So I think I can go out a little bit more, like so. Then I'm going to repeat my operation by either hitting G, which is repeat the last operation, which was extrude, or I can click on extrude right here. Our gizmo goes to one of the corners, click on this icon, so it goes in the center. When you extrude, you're always extruding on the local translate Z, not on the Z in the world, but the local, so the Z of this object. So I'm going to do the extrusion that I think my neon sign container is going to be. So I'm going to say right here. And then again, let's create a fencing extrusion by hitting extrude again. Put the gizmo in the middle. You can go to a side view and then extrude it so that you can visually make it similar to this one right here. Now, I've created my inside, let's call it a bucket or container, as you can see in the 3/4 view, and hit E again for extrude. But this time I'm going to leave the gizmo right here. And what I'm going to do, notice that your local translate now is going in this direction, right? So now what I can do, I can create my frame by extruding it in this direction. Now the only problem with this is that this extrusion is always very even. So you will notice that your frame in this object right here, it's not even all the way around. Okay, not even the small frame. Notice that here it's a little bit thicker, whereas here it's really thin. So what I would do, I would stop my extrusion right here, hit Q, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my vertices individually. I can select a big group, use a move tool, and then I can move them so I can manually recreate that frame. Again, and it's just a matter of selecting the image plane, go to select object, go to the attribute editor, increase the alpha gain so you can see it better. And all you have to do now is hit 3, move your geometry so that it matches the design. So I'm going to select these 3 guys right here, move them out. Maybe then this one. I've adjusted the border edge, right? I'm gonna go select this object, go back to Quad Draw, and notice that in the smooth preview, I get a really, really nice border. I'm gonna hit 1. I'm gonna go to Control and add an edge loop right here to support my fencing, and then I'm gonna add another one right here, right, to create the inner fencing of the outer edge, and then give it a support right here. All right, so now I'm gonna double click on this outer edge, and I'm going to create an extrusion. And this is what our extrusion looks like. I'm going to extrude from the center of the entire edge loop, and I'm going to make sure that this extrusion matches, let me go to 4, the same thickness as our fencing that we did before. So I'm going to go like this right here, right? So we're coming from the edge. That's fine right there. So I'm going to hit G for another extrusion, put the gizmo in the middle, and now this guy right here is the outer casing or the neon sign. So this guy can go here. I'm going to hit G again for one more fencing extrusion, like so. And this time, I'm going to make an extrusion that goes inwards. And all it's going to be is just a fencing. Let me hide my image plane. Okay, so right now we have this little border, right? So I'm going to hit G to repeat the operation. And this time I'm not going to go from the center, right? I'm going to leave the gizmo right here so that I can make a very small extrusion on the border. Now this piece is the back of our neon sign. So we are not going to put a big gigantic polygon there and then waste our time splitting it, because we're never going to see it. So I'm going to hit Q. I'm going to select the object, hit 3, and there you have it. By creating the inner shape first, we were able to create small edge supports in the inside. Those are our fencing. And then we extruded the face, the inside of the bucket. We did our frame, and then we did the outer part of the frame. And we have our piece right here.